Good morning, children. Take out this chapter, Location and Extent of India, page number 67, Physiographic Division of India. Again, India has a great diversity in its physical features also. It has mountains, plains, desert, plateau, coast, and islands also. So, India is again divided into 6 natural regions. First is Great Himalayas, desert region, coastal plains, northern plains, and a southern plateau island region. Again, we are going to discuss these all in detail. First is Great Himalaya. The word Himalaya means beta abode or house of snow. Again, this meaning is in Sanskrit. Okay, these mountain ranges which are run in west east direction from Indus to Brahmaputra. This is your west east, means from here, this is here we are having Indus. From this direction to this direction they are moving. Okay. The Himalayas represent the loftiest and the most rugged mountains. Again, rocky and uneven surfaces there of these mountains, and they are known as a young fold mountain. They again run along the northern border of India. This is the northern border. Again, they are running from the northern border of India. As they are running from here to here, it covers a 24-kilometer long distance, and even it makes an arc. If you find arc is made when these are moving from this direction to this direction. The width again varies beta from 400 kilometer in Kashmir. It is having a width, and in Arunachal Pradesh it has a width of 150 kilometers. Again, the Great Himalaya is further divided into 3 ranges. Okay, first is our Greater Himalayas, or we call it Himadri. Again, northmost range it is, and it contains the loftiest peaks, and average height of these peaks are 6,000 meters. The world's highest peak, Mount Everest, is also lying in this ranges, and some other peaks like Kanchenjunga, Dhaulagiri, Nanga Parbat, again Annapurna and Nanda Devi also lie in this range, and they are composed of granite. Next comes our Lesser Himalaya. Again, this lies towards the south of the Great Himalayas. It means it is coming under the Great Himalayas, and the most important range here is Beta Pir Panjal range. Dhauladhar and Mahabharat ranges are also found here. All great valleys like Kashmir Valley, Kangra Valley, Kullu Valley are present here. Okay, this region is also known for its hill station like Kullu, Manali, Kufri, Shimla, Mussoorie, Nainital, etc. Again, the outermost range of the Himalayas is called Shivalik. Altitude or height of the mountains varies from 900 to 1100 meters in this range. The valleys lying between Beta, again Himachal, and the Shivaliks are called Doon. Again the valleys which are between the Himachal and Shivalik, they are called as a Doon. So the valley of Dehradun is the biggest in this region. Next comes our northern plains. Again, northern plains of India. Northern plains of India is formed by 3 river systems, Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. The total area of plain is about 7 lakh square kilometer. Again, it is composed of alluvial soil, again which has been deposited by the flowing rivers over millions of years. Because of these 3 rivers, Beta, Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra, there is a lot of water availability here. Because of this reason, this region is agriculturally very productive. Okay, and densely populated also. The northern plain again is divided into 3 sections: the Punjab plain, Ganga plain and Brahmaputra plain. Punjab plain forms beta western part of the northern plains, and again it is formed by the Indus and its tributaries like Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Byas and Satluj. Major portion of these plains is in Pakistan. Next comes our Ganga plain. Ganga plain again it includes beta Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, parts of Jharkhand, West Bengal and Union Territory of Delhi. The region is again drained by the Ganga and its tributaries like again Yamuna, Ghagra, Gandak, Kosi and Tista. Because of its fertile soil, the agriculture flourishes in this region and the area is densely populated. Okay, again Brahmaputra plain forms beta eastern part of northern plains. It is mainly drained by the which river? Brahmaputra river, and it again joins later by the Ganga river. Both these rivers drain into the Bay of Bengal, forming a large delta which is called Sundarban Delta. Again, this region is usually wet, swampy and marshy because of the fertile soil and deposited by two rivers. Next comes our Indian desert region. Again, Indian desert is also known as a Thar desert. It lies towards the again western margin of the Aravalli Hills. Means it lies in the west of Aravalli Hills, and it gets a less rainfall and less than 150 mm in a year. The climate of this region is very dry. Vegetation again is found very less, and Luni is the only large river that appears in this region. Next comes our southern plateau. Again, as we know that what is a plateau? Plateau is a tableland which contains a igneous rock. Peninsular plateau is a tableland which contains a igneous rocks. It is broadly divided into two regions, beta, Central Highland and Deccan Plateau. One of the important feature of the Peninsular Plateau is the black soil area, which is known as a Deccan Trap. Okay, this black soil is actually very helpful, very good for the agriculture also. Black soil again originated from the volcanic eruption there. Okay, next comes again the part we are going to discuss of the southern plateau. First one is our again the Central Highland. Again this lies in the north of the Narmada river. Means where Narmada river flows, it lies in the north of that Narmada river, and it covers a major portion of Malwa Plateau, Bundelkhand, Bagelkhand and Chota Nagpur Plateau. The rivers of this region again flow in which direction? Southwest to northeast. Okay, and it again indicating the slope of Narmada river. Its slope is from northwest to east. Okay, Satpura range makes its northern part, while the Mahadeva Kamur hills and Michael range makes its eastern part. It's again extend into north and east, and Garo Khasi and Jaintia hills are prominent ranges here. Next comes our eastern and western Ghat. Again, this eastern Ghat beta stretches from Mahanadi Valley to Nilgiri Hills in the south, and width of this is 100 to 200. Okay, no big river originates in this region. Okay, and however the eastern Ghat has been divided into several parts by large rivers. Average elevation of Eastern Ghat or height of Eastern Ghat is 600 meters above the sea level, and highest peak of the Eastern Ghat is Mahendragiri. Next comes our coastal, this Western Ghats. Again, this stretches from Tapti River to Kanyakumari. Its average width is again 50 to 80 meter. The main source again are many big rivers which are flowing here, and the Western Ghats are continuous and can be crossed through passes only. Okay, and the highest peak of Western Ghat is Anayamuddi. Next comes our coastal plain. The Deccan Plateau is again surrounded by the coastal plains on the east and west, and the western coast plain is thin strip of a coastal plain with the width of 50 km between the Arabian Sea and the Western Ghats, and it is also divided into three sections. First is Konkan, Mumbai to Goa in north, and Kannada plain, which is again central part, and the Malabar coast, which stretches in the south. And again this eastern coastal plain is a strip of a coastal plain with the width of 100 to 130 km between Bay of Bengal and Eastern Ghat. It is divided into two parts. Northern part is called as Northern Sirkars, and it covers the area of West Bengal and Odisha. Next is our southern part, which is called as a Coromandel coast, and it contains the deltas of Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Okay, Chilka Lake is an important lake along the eastern coast. It is the large salt lake in India. Next comes island region beta. There are India is having again two groups of island. First is Lakshadweep Island in Arabian Sea and Nicobar Island in the Bay of Bengal. First, we are going to discuss about the Lakshadweep. Again, it lies in the Arabian Sea and it is again 300 kilometer away from Kerala coast. And it is again horseshoe shaped island, which is again made of corals. Administrative quarter of Lakshadweep is Kavarati. It is also a capital of Lakshadweep. These islands form the union territory of Lakshadweep. This group of islands richer in terms of biodiversity. Next comes our Andaman Nicobar Islands. These are located in Bay of Bengal and again made up of 233 small islands. Northern cluster of island is known as Andaman and southern cluster is known as Nicobar, and it has a capital which is called as a Port Blair. The island are located close to the equator. Because of this reason, they again experience a equatorial type of climate and have a thick forest in it. Okay, children, read the chapter carefully and have a good day.